signing, but I did the T. Higgins signing. I guess we're going to kind of get into that already. T. Higgins, basically, he got franchise tag. So he's going to be getting pretty decent money, but it's only for 1 year. But he does want a long-term contract. Got to completely understand. In the game in the NFL, guys are always looking for their next contract. They don't know if or when they are going to get their next contract.
Brandon
Ayuk. As Kevin mentions, our all-pro receiver, Brandon Ayuk, who will probably get some dollars pretty soon. He's on
the moneymaker.
He's on the final year of his contract, so he's not going to get franchise tagged. I don't think so. He's got at least one more year left. You're on his deal, so we'll see where that goes. But T. Higgins, there's a bunch of teams that you could kind of look out and see, where's there a need for receiver? Do they need to go out and get a guy, or would they rather just draft a guy? Kevin and I have kind of been going back and forth on the receivers this year. Would Brandon Ayuk be a top 4 receiver in this draft? I still say yes to that, even though this receiver class is very deep. Very deep. So there's a lot going on right now. As for all the only listeners, we got a comment from Jonathan. He said the Bengals are messing up their own franchise. Not necessarily. I wouldn't say that they are messing it up. It's kind of like you're paying Joe Burrow a shit ton of money. You're paying Jamar Chase, or at least I don't know if Jamar has Jamar signed? Yeah, I don't know if he has or not.
No, yeah, he's a year younger than T. Not a year younger, but he came out a year later.
So it's kind of like, are you going to pay Jamar or are you going to pay T. Higgins? That's kind of what it's looking like. It's like, and it's tough to pay 2 receivers anywhere. And it's like, how in the hell are you going to pay T. Higgins and you're going to pay Jamar Chase and you're going to pay Joe Burrow? That's like, what, 50% of their salary cap off rip, and you got a whole bunch of everybody else to pay. So you're kind of just looking at it on from the business side of how are you going to pay everybody. And I think they're already paying Trey Hendrickson, I think, who got paid. I think it was last offseason. So it's not that they're ruining, and they're releasing Joe Mixon too. So it's kind of like, it looks bad from the outside, but they still have Joe freaking Burrow. And according to him, his Super Bowl window is as long as he's
playing, as long as he's taking snaps.
As long as he's taking snaps, that's how long their Super Bowl window is. So, I'm looking at it from who can use a T. Higgins. I'm looking at, I think the Texans would be really good for him. The Chargers would be another really good landing spot. Have Justin Herbert. You can look at a team like the Commanders, who's not really paying anybody, and they're going in with their rookie head, with their soon-to-be rookie quarterback that they'll have when they draft. This upcoming draft is coming up next month. So those are a couple of teams that kind of rattled off. The Raiders you could kind of look at. Maybe they could be a team. Wondering what their quarterback situation will look like going into it. Do the Raiders move up? The Falcons is another team that I'm looking at too. You're looking at Kirk Cousins just went there. Like, okay, there's a really solid quarterback there. You have a Drake London alongside you. So that Drake London, T. Higgins, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, that'd be a pretty damn good offense if you ask me. A lot of touches everywhere, a lot of guys that can get open, and a lot of guys that can make plays happen on that team. So Chargers, Commanders, Raiders, and Falcons. Those are my teams. And Texans too. Those are the teams that I'm kind of looking at. Like, you could definitely look at it too.
Toddy.
Real quickly, Kevin, and let me just interject because Toddy did mention the Brian Burns move. And country music singer Luke Combs, who is apparently a Panthers fan.
Saw that.
He's not happy. He said in all caps.
Was,
country singer. It's not my bag, but I know who he is. He said in all caps, "What are we doing?" And then in regular letters, he says, "No first-round pick for McCaffrey a few years back, and now none for Burns. Are we just firebombing the whole team here or what?" I usually don't comment on these kind of things, but it's just becoming slow torture at this point. So I feel bad for Luke Combs, but that's the deal of how the Panthers organization is run. Kevin, what did you want to say there?
So he came out and said the quarterbacks he wants to play for. He said number 1 is Joe Burrow.
Oh, go ahead.
Number 2 is Trevor Lawrence. 3, C.J. Stroud. 4, Lamar Jackson. 5, Josh Allen. But I think there's a sleeper in here that no one's talking about. I really thought Todd was going to say something. Green Bay.
They don't have a true number one.
They don't have a true number one. Christian Watson can't stay healthy. We saw Jaden Reed kind of emerge on the stand. They had Devontae Wicks, excuse me. Yeah. They have the tight end play. They have the quarterback play. They're bringing in Josh Jacobs. And the best thing about this is they can give up a Romeo Dobbs. They can give up a Devontae Wicks because they're getting a T. Higgins. So to pair that up with a second-year starter in Jordan Love, I know this is a stretch, but we can see another Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams little connection going. So I think the Packers should go all in. You saw what they did last year. Now they're one step away. And another team that I would love to see T. Higgins go to, but it would hurt my heart as an Eagles fan.
The Dallas Cowboys.
The Detroit Lions.
Why would that hurt your heart?
Because of the NFC.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say Dallas.
Oh no, Garry don't pay nobody. I'm not even like they said. They ain't making no moves on free agency. They not doing nothing. They not worried about that. But if you can get him with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devontae Montgomery, Sam Laporta, we saw that Jared Goff can be a solid game manager. You saw that Khalif Raymond, and I can't remember the other guy who was just really becoming because they're
Josh Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds, that's what I want to say. You're seeing all these other guys make plays, and then they still have J-Mo. So you put J-Mo, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and T. Higgins, that would be scary. But the number one place I would love to see him go is in Green Bay. And give Jordan Love a true number one. They have the defense. And just double down and say we're going to do whatever we can to make him successful.
Number one receiver? You think he's the number one receiver?
Without a doubt.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Without a doubt.
Kaz, what do you think? Is T. Higgins the number one wide receiver, and where would you like to see him go?
I'm questionable about that, and the only reason why I am is because
we might as well just turn this into a factor cap. Factor cap. Is T. Higgins the number one receiver?
That's hard, man. I think it's like that's tough. I think that if he's not a number one, he's banging on that door, being a number one. But you look at guys like a Calvin Ridley when he left Atlanta, they said he's going to go to Jacksonville and be like
tear it up.
He was supposed to be the big number one, top dog, right? He was good, don't get me wrong, but it's like, bro, Christian Kirk, you know what I'm saying? Who is the number one there? Should it be clear cut? But it's not. You know what I mean? It's not clear cut. It should be, but it's not. When it comes to T,
there was a drop off.
When it comes to T. Higgins, it's like, okay, obviously Jamar Chase is there in T. Higgins. Why are we giving T. Higgins like this whole like this is a true number one? It's like sometimes these number two guys look so good because the number one is that good. Now, granted, when Jamar Chase is out, does T. Higgins step up? Yes, but is it super consistent? It is not. We see it this season.
Shaun saw that.
What was it? I think
my fantasy team missing the playoffs just proves that how inconsistent it is because I'm banking on him.
What do you have? 0 catches the first game of the season, if I'm not mistaken. He was one of them. No points.
Yeah, he did. He did, and that's how I got Toddy to trade him for basically Drake London, and that looked like the dumbest trade for me.
Hey, listen. I think T. Higgins is phenomenal. I'm not gonna. Think about the number one receivers nowadays. Okay, let's talk about that. That's an A.J. Brown. That's a Justin Jefferson. That's a C.D. Lamb. Okay, that's a who else out there? That's like a DJ Moore. Is T. Higgins that? Okay, the list goes on. There's plenty of other number one receivers, but that's a Mike Evans. You know what I'm saying? Is that T. Higgins? Is he on that level? I'm not talking about Tyreek Hill. You got a Stephon Diggs, who I know he had kind of a downish year, but really it wasn't that bad of a year. But we know what he's capable of doing. All right. Is that T. Higgins? Then if it's not T. Higgins, I can't say that he's a true solidified stud number one. I can't say that. But what I will say is this. Wherever he goes, if he has a little bit of help, that's all he's going to need. And I think the best place for him to go somewhere where a guy knows how to win, where a guy is a good quarterback, where a guy is experienced, and where you have guys around you that are ready to fucking ball. They've been waiting for a very long time, and that is Atlanta. You get him with Kyle because first off, let's talk about this. I wasn't on this take with the quarterbacks. And I was with Toddy all day. Kirk Cousins to Atlanta. Looking at his numbers, that man is stupers numbers consistently.
Even post injury.
Yes. Yeah. Shit. I think I had the stats up.
You like that?
Wait. Here we go. 2023 when he got hurt. 103.8 QB rating, 18 touchdowns, 5 ends before he got hurt. That was last season.
He had more touchdown passes than Justin Fields.
Yes. Previous season, 2022, 4,500 yards, 29 touchdowns, 14 picks. The previous year, 2021, 4,221 yards, 33 touchdowns. I can keep doing it. He had it was 2019 was his last down year, and that was 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and then guess what? Before that, for 4 more years, 4,000 yards, almost 5,000 yards. Dog, we're not. I used to hate on Kirk Cousins, dog. He is a baller, and now he has more weapons than ever. Yeah. Very consistent. You understand that? I've been saying in my fantasy leagues, year in, year out, I always draft Kyle Pitts, and everybody's like, "Dude, give up. He's a bust." I'm like, just wait, just fucking wait. I don't know what happened. Just fucking wait. And this is the time. Now you got Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts, you got Bijan Robinson, who's already obviously proven, okay? Let them go ahead and get a T. Higgins. Let it happen. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for that division, not for the league. It's a wrap for that division. They're going to be the best team in that division if they get a guy like T. Higgins. I think if you're looking at a T. Higgins going to a team that has the potential to win a division and possibly make a playoff run, go to Atlanta. And I'll say the same thing I said about Derrick Henry. Just stay the fuck away from Dallas. Please, for love of God, stay away from Dallas.
Go ahead, Toddy.
Oh, no. I mean, if you're throwing it to me, factor cap, is he a number 1 receiver? I think I would say so but here's something that's very fair on what Kaz was saying about T. Higgins basically seeing all of the, single coverage because Jamar is basically getting all the attention. What's he going to look like year in or week in and week out, facing, I think even if he goes to Atlanta, he won't necessarily see number 1 type coverage, if that makes sense, because you got Drake London to worry about, and you have Kyle Pitts to worry about as well, and also obviously Bijan Robinson can line up the slot anytime he wants to. But I still think he's a number 1. I think he can provide, if given that opportunity, to get those number 1 targets, pretty much everything that kind of goes into becoming a number 1 overall receiver. I think he has those capabilities. Did definitely see some inconsistencies throughout last year, but I do think that he's good enough to be one of those top tier guys. I'm not necessarily saying he's a top 5 in the league, but I mean, I'm saying that he can be a number 1 receiver. Like there are guys like Kaz also mentioned, like a DJ Moore. I think he could be on that type of tier of, a number 1 type of receiver, because I feel like there are certain teams that have number 1 guys. They're just not top 5. They're just not top 5. They're guys that can get open, and separate and be very productive for their team. And they're not a Justin Jefferson or a Tyreek Hill. There's only so many of those guys. They're not, the AJ Browns, dare I say it, Brandon Ayuk. They're not one of those guys. All pro. You don't have to.
1,300 yards, not 1,000, Kevin. Not 1,100, not 1,200. 1,300.
He's rolling his eyes and everything. I'm just going off the numbers.
The money man.
This is a stats over politics. This is what we like to be on this podcast. We like to keep the stats in order. So, granted, I do think just to go back to the question, factor caps, T. Higgins the number 1 overall receiver. I would have to say yes.
And
real quick question.
Mm-hmm.
And just rapid fire answer this. This for you 2 Niners fans. Is he better than Deebo Samuel?
T. Higgins?
Yes.
No. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to ask us about
Brandon
Ayuk. I thought we were going to do this all over
again. No, that too. Ayuk, is he better?
No.
Okay. Devontae Smith, is he better than Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith?
Right.
Hold on now.
The answer is fucking no. Come on now.
You guys.
It's not as bad. I'm going to say Devontae Smith, but I'm saying there's not like a gap.
Right. So what I was saying was this, like you mentioned, like how he's not top 5. Like the man's probably not even top 15 when it comes to wide receivers in NFL. I mean, so I think of a really good receiver. There is, and when I think of a number 1, it's like, again, like a true number 1. I think somebody in the comments mentioned that too. I know you're going to get that here soon, Shaun. But that's all I was saying. It's like, look at your team, and even look at our guy. Our number 1 guy is AJ Brown. He's a $100 million man. We know Devontae Smith has potential, but it's AJ Brown. It's Brandon Ayuk for you guys. But he's not even better. T. Higgins is even better than your number 2, which is your, Debo. I look at it from that perspective. That's all. Like, when I think of a number one, it's not somebody who can play the position as number one. It's can you excel at that position? That's all.
You can't dress up and put number one on his chest. You say can't play the part. You can't play the number one